What's up, happy people, and welcome again to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to look at landscape painting, and we are going to focus on the background. Now here I have a sketch that I'm going to basically paint, and we are going to look at also we are going to use a sponging technique to create our background today, right? So here I have my sketch. When you're creating a landscape painting, you don't necessarily have to sketch it out, but for me, I like to work with guidelines and stuff. A lot of artists do not sketch out their background or do any sketches at all. They just go straight ahead and start painting. But I can do both, but I personally prefer to have my sketch down and then follow. So I am trying to create a country scene here. We have my old house. I have a tree in the yard, and you know, as we paint, we'll figure out other things and just paint it in as well. Probably put some fowls in the yard, probably some goats, probably some dogs or stuff like that. But you know, it's landscape painting. You can always play around with it until it's fit in the environment. Are you manipulate your paint or your colors that you're using well until you basically fit what you want to put into your environment. So today we are going to focus on mainly on the background, then we work our way to the midground and foreground. But in this video I'm only going to stick closely to looking at the background, and probably in the next lesson we'll focus more on the midground, but we are working our way up. For me personally, I usually start my painting by creating my background first, because I work from back to front. I work from back, midground, then the foreground. That's how I basically work. That's how I was taught, actually, right? But other artists do it differently. You don't necessarily have to follow my concept, but I am just letting you know how I go about doing my when I'm creating my landscape painting. Now we have our colors here that we are working with today, right? So we have our yellow, we have our blue, and I'm using acrylic paint. I love using acrylic paint. I don't know, I very rarely I work with oil paint, but acrylic paint is definitely my thing. We have our brown, right? We just grab some colors, trying to work with the primary colors as best as possible. Here we have red, and of course we have the yellow yolk, and we are going to also fill in some white in it and some black, just to create shading and light and all of those things. Now today I'm working with these paintbrush, right? It's a flatted paintbrush. I love working with these. I don't know, I just really love working with these. They give me a different feel when I'm painting, definitely. If you have your fan brush, you can work with it also. If you have any other brush, but just ensure that it is smooth and it gives good texture, right? You're going to need your water as well, right? Going to need your water with your paint, with your paintbrush and all of those things. We're going to have our mixing palette also, and like I said, I'm working with the sponging technique. I'm doing a sponging technique. So here I have my sponge already wrapped with my tape, and we are going to create our background. All right, so let's see how best we can work in our colors into the background. If you want, you can even dip your sponge first to get it a little bit moist, so that the paint flow freely, right? So here I'm going to dab on my surface to create my background. And the best thing to do when you're going to start your dabbing is to always ensure that you tape down your joint surface, right? That's the first mistake I just made. So I'm telling you that so you don't make that mistake. Alright. Now I realize that the sponging technique is also good for creating the trees. For creating the leaf on the tree, you can just simply dab it in as well. Right? Okay, so that's the first mistake I make. I should have taped down my surface, but let's get in with it. So I'm creating my sky. Alright, that's the first thing I'm doing. And then I'll work in the green area to create other contrasts. Right? And don't mind the sketch. Like I said before, the sketch is used as a guideline to see where you want everything to fall. Right? Then it's whatever you want it to be like. So whatever you want it to be, you have the concept in your head, so you create your painting as how you are thinking about it. I love using the sponging technique because I think it gives you a nice feel and nice texture. Right? So there you have it. That's my sky, and I am going to go into the mid-ground. I'm working my way into the mid-ground. Alright, I'm going to work my way into the mid-ground now. I am going to mix my paint. Remember guys, we are working with the primary colors, right? So I'm going to mix two primary colors together, that is blue and yellow, to create our secondary color, which is green. Right? So as you watch and listen, you'll also learn how to mix colors, what and what color give you what color. Right? If you need a light green, you know, you put more yellow into it. And if you're going for a darker green, then you put more blue. I am trying to get a light green, so I'm using more yellow in it. And then I'm going to work my sponge again. As I said before, you can dab it with a little water, and then you start on your painting. Okay, so here I am putting my mid-ground now. I'm giving some greenery in the painting. Going around the house,